Alright, what's going on, adventurers? It's Charlie's Adventures here, and today we're going to be doing a budget paddleboard review and a not so sort of budget paddleboard pump review, but this thing is worth every single penny. So these are both made by a company called Swonder, and they're a little bit new to the game. They've been around for a little bit, but with their paddleboard pump and these budget paddleboards, they're really getting into the game pretty strong right here. And I figured I would do a review for some of these people that's looking for a more budget option and somebody that's looking for a nice portable paddleboard pump that's worth the money. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna test out this pump by blowing this bad boy up. So let's get to it. And really quick announcement, forgot to say this at the beginning of the video, but I am gonna be doing a giveaway of $600 worth of items, and stay tuned till the end of the video to learn how you can, number one, enter into the giveaway, and number two, find out exactly what I'm giving away. So it's a few things I'll be kind of looking at in this video, and a couple other things that I'll announce at the end. So make sure you stay tuned and watch the entire video to see how you can enter into that giveaway. All right, so right here, just kind of before I blow the pump up, kind of wanted to talk about it just a little bit. So this is a 21,000 lithium ion portable paddleboard pump, and it has dual action. So we have an inflate module right here and a deflate module right here. It has the option for PSI or bar, and it's really easy, comfortable. I've actually already pumped up 8 boards with this, and it's supposed to be able to pump up 8 to 10 paddleboards. So hopefully it's got enough life in it to pump this bad boy up, or else I'm gonna be finishing it by hand. But at the top right here, you might be able to see it, might not. We have a display. It's just kind of like a typical like ink calculator display right here, and it's upside down for you guys. But basically we have PSI over here. That's where you set the the PSI you want it to be. So I'm gonna set that to 12 for the day's review. But you can also switch over the bar, and I believe that's it. And then you just kind of said you press the plus sign to go up, and we're gonna do 12 PSI. And all you do after that is you just press the power on button. So I'm gonna let it pump up, and then we'll get into the rest of the video right here. So after we can see the paddleboard in its full glory. So a couple of cool things about the pump is that it has a auto shut off feature, which is very nice. So other than that, the pump's really great. And if you kind of notice in the middle or in the beginning, it really fully inflates it to the first PSI. So that's just so the board actually has a volume. So at that point, it's putting like 350 milliliters volumes of air, something like that. But then it cuts down to 100. So then it kind of slowly inflates it to the last 12 PSI. But the good thing about this and like having an electric pump is the fact that you're able to relax and not waste your time using a hand pump. But the good thing is that this board does come with a hand pump if you don't want to go ahead and buy an electric one. But I do recommend it because it is an extremely fair price for a portable paddleboard pump. So right now is the test to see if I had the pin up correctly. Oh, thank God. And the last cool thing about this pump is it comes with every different size nozzle for air mattresses, other sort of floaties and tubes and whatnot. So anything you have that needs air, this thing can blow it up. So now let's get into the pros and cons and the in-depths of this paddleboard right here. All right, so before we get into the board itself, let me tell you exactly what it comes with. So we have a 3-piece aluminum paddle, which is a very typical cheap paddle. This isn't like your carbon fiber, or they have also fiberglass ones and nylon ones, and a lot of other lightweight options, but if you're getting into the game for the first time, this is your first paddleboard, this is a perfect paddle, just because it can take a little bit more of a beating sometimes. And this one is adjustable up here, and it also has height markers for, you know, if you're going to be using this person with multiple people, they can kind of adjust it and remember, like, oh, I need to be 190 centimeters, 185 centimeters, because it really does come down to, like, when you get into the specifics of it, it matters, but it really doesn't matter that much if you're a beginner. But this is really nice for a compact option for you to be able to fit it inside the bag it comes with. So, and also it's kind of branded up here at the actual, or the tip of the paddle, so it gives a little bit of a design flair to it. The next item it comes with is a standard, a single action handheld pump. Or not handheld, but just a single action pump. Yeah, this is very standard for cheap ones as well. A lot of accessories this comes with is cheap, but the actual design of this paddleboard, it's definitely built for quality. So they, you know, cheaped out on a lot of the accessories, but they put all the money in the quality of the paddleboard, which is exactly what you want when you're a beginner, because you don't necessarily care about having the best pump in the world. But, you know, with that being said, it's very nice to have, just because instead of having to worry about the electric pumps, it is nice to have this sometimes, because you don't have to worry about a battery, so you can take this thing anywhere with you. So, you know, just how I plugged it in earlier to the paddleboard pump at the end, this thing, same thing. Get on here and pump it up, pump up to 15 PSI and you're all good. So nothing really special about this. When you buy this board, you also get one of the most important safety features of your inflatable stand-up paddleboard, and that is an ankle leash. So these are very important because you put it down there on the D-ring and you strap to your ankle, and if you're on a lake like this on a windy day and you fall in and you don't have this on, your paddleboard's gonna go flying across the lake. So this keeps you attached to your paddleboard, because if you fall off, you want to get back on top of your paddleboard as fast as possible, since, you know, this is basically your flotation device right here, so you want to stay on that. But this is very typical. It has a swivel here, so it's nice because it won't get tangled, and the coiled ones are very nice just because a lot of the ones that are just straight lined kind of get in the way and they're kind of annoying. So this one's also branded with their sweet logo right here. Then when we get to the back side of this paddleboard, I'll show you how to put this on, but it has two non-removable fins and one removable fin. So this is very nice to have if you're going down rivers and just kind of more shallow bodies of water. You don't want to have this on because, number one, you're already going to stay straight from the flow of the water, and number two, it's gonna be very annoying to have this bumping on rocks every single second. But if you're out here on a lake like this, you absolutely want this so you stay straight. So, but this is very standard. It's not as cheap as some of the ones I've seen, just because this one has a little bit better of a curvature onto it, but it still is just a very like hard plastic. And lastly, or second to last right here, is we have the repair kit. And with this, we have just two things that come in this one. And this is a valve tightener. And all you do is you put it on the valve down there and twist it, just because sometimes what will happen is that valve, for you to be able to pump up air, will get loose, and you'll hear a noise and it's leaking. You'll get worried and be like, oh, you know, it's the end of the world. Your paddleboard you bought 2 weeks ago is already ruined. But in all reality, you just need to put this on there and tighten it. I've had that happen to me once, so it's not too common, but it's nice to include it. And then we have two patches. The only thing your repair kit does not come with is a PVC adhesive for your patches, but you can usually buy those pretty cheap at a store. It's just with a lot of paddleboard companies shipping overseas, they can't include that in their shipments. And the last thing this paddleboard does come with is actually the carrying bag, which you saw at the beginning of the video. It's a very standard bag. It doesn't have padding. It's very cheap, but like I said earlier, they cheaped out all the accessories so they could go quality on the board. So now that we got all the accessories out the way, let's get into the details and the features of this awesome paddleboard. So at the very back end of the paddleboard, we have a single D-ring, and this is your tow D-ring for your, number one, for it to be towed, and number two, for you to attach it to your ankle leash that you have around yourself. So that's where your anchor point is. Then right in front of that, we have the air valve, which is obviously where you pump the board up. And surrounding it, it just kind of says that it's a high pressure inflatable system, and it also has that its recommended PSI is 15. Like I stated earlier, I pumped it up to 12 just because of the point of the video. I don't need to pump it up to 15. 12 is just fine, and you know, to add structure. Getting into the middle, we have the carrying handle, which is nice and convenient. Let me showcase this without falling down this cliff. So it's really nice and convenient to hold it up like this. So it's a nice feature to have. Most paddleboards have it, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And then following the carrying handle, at the very top end of the paddle, we have a 6D ring bungee cord system. And this is really nice because number one, it has a heat shrink end, and this is really nice because sometimes they don't heat shrink the ties and they come undone. So that's really convenient and nice. Number two, you always want a bungee system on your paddleboard, just because you want to, you know, if you want to store your flip-flops down there, you want to store your dry sack with your food and your water, you want to attach your Bluetooth speaker somewhere, you want to attach your phone somewhere, you have somewhere to do that. So next, getting into that, we have this cool print with this cool splash effect with their SD logo up there for the Swonder. And the last like big feature of the top end of this paddleboard is this giant EVA deck pad. What's cool about this is that it's a single print to where it's not separated, because sometimes when you have those ones that are separated, so like they'll be cut down there because they'll be applied differently, they'll end up coming undone over time. And when you just have one single deck pad and it's just one print, it's gonna last a lot longer. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is how bold these colors are. And with this, you know, this yellow and the blue and that black, this is one of the boldest color boards or inflatable paddleboards I have for the color. I actually have a video of all 8 of my paddleboards side by side, and I have, you know, 6, 8, $1,200 paddleboards, and this one stuck out against all of them just about. So for the price you're paying, you're getting a very bold paddleboard with this nice black bolt down the middle. It has this cool comic effect. And to end that, we're gonna look onto the bottom and the side of this paddleboard. So really quickly, the bottom doesn't offer too much. So we have our 2 non-removable fins right here. In the middle, we have this patch to where, you know, when they fully manufacture, they have to add this, but it has their specifics on here, the actual unit number, which is very nice, and the logo. And then at the very bottom, we have the fin box for that removable fin, what we'll attach later. Well, other than that, it's very plain, but you're not really worried about the back or the bottom of your paddleboard when you have this awesome bold color on the top. And then on the side, we have it branded with these cool colors, because you will see this once you're going down the water, so you want to kind of show off in front of people. So we get the brand right here, Swonder, and we only have 2 points where we have the separation where they glue on the sides. We have a split or seam right here and a seam at the very top. So it's just nice to have 2 seams, because so over time, this is a spot where glue and adhesive can come undone, but it's built very well for structure. The way it's built like it's a $600 paddleboard. So getting into that, let's come down here and I'll show you how to attach the removable fin. All right, so here we have our removable fin and the fin box. So when it comes to these, this fin box is one of the cheaper fin box designs, and it can be a little tricky sometimes. And same thing with this actual fin. It's a little cheaper fin, but like I said, for the price you're paying, it is a great fin, because it's not as cheap as some of the super cheap ones I've seen. Just because this one has a better curvature and the actual shape of it's a lot better. But all you do is you put that circle in down there, and you push it in, and push it down, and you're all set. So now really quickly, let's get into the specifics of this paddleboard. So the length we have right here is 10 feet. The width is 32 inches up or side to side right here right now. And then the depth of it is 6 inches right here on the side. What the 10 foot tells me is that this board is meant for like a general audience. You know, no one that's over 6'2" is gonna love this board at all. And anybody that's over, you know, 250 pounds isn't gonna like this board at all. The weight limit of this thing is 275, and you really don't want to get that close to it if you're gonna be adding gear and doing all that. And then the actual board itself is only 17 pounds, which is on the very, very light end of the paddle boards I've done. I've done that are 16 pounds, but the 17 pounds is a great weight if you don't want to worry about having a super heavy board, because some of my boards are about 25 to 30 pounds. But this one's a great weight. It is your typical double layer PVC design, you know, super intensive drop stitching in the middle, which is very typical of any paddleboard. But other than that, this paddleboard is great for the money. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out here on the water and test it real quick to see how well it does. I know that this is the first bit of water it's seen, so I'd like to see how well it does and how straight of a line it does. But I've had it in my garage inflated for quite a few days now, and it's held air great. So I'm excited to give it a full official test. All right, my lovely girlfriend's gonna stay up there and record me. For everybody watching at home, it's about 53 degrees outside, April 2nd. So the water's gonna be freezing, so I'm hoping not to fall in. Which I'm normally pretty good at, so. I've only accidentally fell in a couple of times. All I need to do is get my feet wet. So one of the big things I need to do real quick is actually set my paddle height. Another thing I need to do is take my flip-flops off, because flip-flops are not good on paddle boards. That is one thing I've learned, is it makes them very slippery. The only thing I'm noticing right now that's performance-wise is it's kind of going back and forth, but the reason for that is because I took the fin off because I didn't want to have to deal with it in the shallow water. Once you get that fin on, it's going to hold a line a lot better, but it's still not going to be the best paddleboard for keeping a line just because of the shape of it, and you know, the fins aren't particularly made for that. But for any lake like this, it's pretty decent. I'm a little bit shaky out here because I don't want to fall in, and it's only sort of windy. I feel pretty comfortable for, you know, my size on this board, especially with it being windy. Other than that, I mean, when it comes down to it, one of the other bigger things is maneuverability. So that's kind of how easy it is to turn your paddleboard. And when you don't have that removable fin on it, it's very easy to turn. And I can already tell if I did have it on, it would stay easy. So you can easily maneuver it around. I would do some spins on it, but that would make me fall in, so I'm absolutely not going to do that. Beyond that, those are the, you know, three big categories when you're worrying about performance: is how well it holds the line, you know, how maneuverable it is, and you know, how structured it is, you know, how easy it is, and like if it holds its volume basically, and you're not wobbling around everywhere. All right, so as you saw from the video, the Swonder Paddleboard is a great option for budget buyers. And the same thing with their electric pump. It's great for the value, but now the moment you guys have all been waiting for, which is the giveaway announcements, the details, the rules, and everything. So really quickly, I'm gonna explain what I'm giving away. So I have a couple things laid out here. I'm not giving away everything, but almost everything. So I am going to be giving away this awesome paddleboard. I'm going to be giving away a paddleboard carrier right here, so it's like a sling strap for your shoulder strap. I'm giving away 2 electric paddleboard pumps. The only thing I am keeping for myself, sadly, for everybody that wanted it, is this amazing portable paddleboard pump, because I absolutely love this thing. But we have $600 worth of items right here that I'm giving away to you, the subscribers. Hopefully everyone subscribed. So now that you know what I'm giving away, let's find out how you can win these items. And number one, what you're gonna do is subscribe. So that's gonna be a very important role. Number 2 is you're gonna go to my Instagram, which is right here. This is the @ symbol. I'll also have it down in the description of the video, so make sure you go to that after you subscribed. And you're gonna take a screenshot that you're subscribed to my channel and DM me on Instagram, and then you're gonna be added to a list for my giveaway entries, basically. So I'm gonna be giving away all of these items once I hit 1,000 subscribers. So I got a little bit ways to go, but what you need to do is subscribe, because I have about only 10% of my viewers are actually subscribed to my channel. So I need you guys to start subscribing, start engaging, so you guys can win some awesome items like this. So once I get to that point, no matter how soon or how late, I am going to be giving away these items. So make sure you stay active on my Instagram, because that is where I'll have the giveaway announcements, and that's where I will DM the person that wins. So that's the rules. You know what I'm giving away. So subscribe and hopefully you'll win. So thanks for watching the video, and stay tuned. I'm going to start uploading more so I can hit that 1,000 subscriber mark a little bit faster. So check out some more of my content. Stay tuned.